Hello my friends and welcome back. It's Monday, so happy Monday to you. It's the beginning of a new week. Now I gotta warn you, today we have some quite worrying developments coming out from this video, some topics, but that doesn't stop us from having fun. So I will have fun, I promise you that, but I will not leave out the serious, troubling events that are actually happening. So you will hear them. But we'll begin with the fun, because Ukrainians sent a lot of drones into Moscow, into Russia and into a lot of oil refineries, and I just have to share with you the panic in Russian telegrams. I just enjoy it so much, and since they give it to us, why not enjoy it together? Danger from UAVs, Moscow region drone threat. North of Moscow region, increased attention. North Moscow region, danger from UAVs. And so it goes. But this next specific video, I think, comes from the coast of the Black Sea, where Russian citizens go to vacate in the summertime. It's very warm. It's a true paradise. But they forget. They are part of imperialistic country who is invading the neighbor, who started the war, and now they have to deal with the consequences. So in this video you can see how a Russian person reacts when she for the first time feels the effects of war that she thought she would never have to feel. Oh, hurry up, the second one. Now, I don't show you this video to make fun of a woman who is afraid of drones. I am afraid of drones. If I hear them flying around, if I heard them in Kiev, I was afraid. Now, if you're in this situation, you will be afraid. I'm making fun because there's a sheer audacity of Russian people thinking that they can take over another country while never having to be afraid, never having to feel what they're causing others to feel. It's just this karma. Pure karma. What is it? What is it? Nothing to be afraid of. Are they flying? Where did they fly? No, they're not flying. They shot them down. Yes, they shot them down. I'm sure they shot the drones down, and the debris is what's causing all this panic. Let's go, let's leave. I mean, they have it for once. This is the first time you can see it's the first time she feels anything like that. The fear of death, sheer panic. This is daily in Ukraine for the last 3 years, in some areas for the last 10 years, because war started in 2014. So it just makes me glad to see that karma actually works, sometimes just in a slow cycle. We need to hide. Guys ran away from the beach. Everyone got evacuated. Let's not do this again. What, let's not invade Ukraine again? Yes, you're right, don't do that again. Alright my friends, do you have your Russian oil refinery bingo card ready? Are you ready to draw some X's and get the bingo? Because we're gonna start, there's many of them and we're gonna go through all of them. We begin with Saratov oil refinery. You can see it on the map. It is about 600 kilometers from Ukraine. It is confirmed by NASA firm's map and by a lot of local Russian citizens who filmed these drones, who filmed the explosions and who later barbecued their sausages on the nice oil fire. Let's watch all of the videos. First of all, we got a video of Russians actually trying to shoot down the drone. Of course, they claim they did shoot it down. It's only the debris who fell and made the fires. Whatever it is, Ukrainian drone debris is as dangerous as the drones themselves. You can see that they actually are not shooting it down, but they're shooting at it. So this is what the Saratov oil refinery looked like from a distance of 1 to 2 kilometers, filmed by a local Russian who is looking for another barbecue place, readying their sausages already for the nice barbecue, because this fire is free. It's very nice. And now the final video on Saratov, I bring you the priceless commentary. Every Russian commentator always uses the same words and the same emotion. You can feel it. Even if you don't understand the language, you can feel it.
просто нефтебаза, нихуя.
Вечеринка, а вот они, пошли, вечеринка.
Hey, don't ask me to translate. I don't need to. Exactly what you think you're feeling when you listen to this, that's exactly what they're saying.
Нихуя, ты смотри, какой домовал хуя.
Они не спасут. Они не спасут.
Like the woman is also saying such filthy words here.
Он сейчас еще раз зайдет, нахуй, им пизда всем. Смотрите, пацаны.
Look, I cannot translate this, but they're watching their own country burn, and this is the emotion it gives out is priceless. Likely losses from even a month-long shutdown at the Saratov oil refinery reached $240 million. Drone strikes caused explosions and thick column of black smoke over the Rosneft-owned facility, which processed 6.75 million tons of crude oil a year into gasoline, diesel, and other fuels. Beautiful, my friends, beautiful. My friends, when I do these Ukrainian updates, I start with researching, and that includes me looking through hundreds and hundreds of different news from different news sites. That's quite tedious, actually, and sometimes, actually always, almost every day, I recognize Russian disinformation campaigns, and I don't want them in my brain. This is why I use Ground News. Ground News is the #1 news comparison site in the world, and it really helps me push out the garbage and keep what I want to see. I have here 2 topics for me. This is a For You page in Ground News, and these 2 topics for me personally are Ukraine and Ukraine war. I want nothing else. This really makes my workflow more efficient. Here I can see news that I want to read that is connected to Ukraine, so I can really do my research and get ready for filming. And then I do film and edit, and the editing itself takes a lot of time, so I gotta be efficient at the beginning of the day. Out of these news articles, I picked Senate panel advances funding bill with $1 billion for Ukraine. I mean, this is of course United States Senate approving next year's defense spending, which is a big, beautiful amount. On the right panel here, I can see the coverage detail. Total news sources 28. I mean, if there's only 1 or 2 news sources reporting on the news, you know it's not popular enough or it's too local to get to your field of vision. Below that, we have the bias distribution, and you can see it's 72% center. Or if it's leaning right or leaning left, you know your political views best, so you can pick the area where you want to read. I personally would like to keep it as center as possible. And below that is one of the most important tabs here, which is the factuality of this news across all of these 28 sources, which is 89% high factuality. Out of that 89%, 50% is very high factuality. This is good enough for me, it should be good enough for you. And below that, there is also the ownership of the news houses who report on this. Another awesome tool Ground News gives you is the list of all of the sources with the headlines. You can see different headlines below each other, and you can see are they center, low factuality, high factuality, leaning left, leaning right. And note that the wording in each title differs on their agenda. It is very interesting to see. I use all of these tools Ground News gives me to make the most efficient research before I shoot my videos. I think so should you. By the way, you can get the same plan I use for nearly half the price. Just go to ground.news/Artur or scan the QR code on the screen to get their unlimited access Vantage plan for just $5 a month. Or you can also make it a gift. Gift it to somebody as a birthday present or anniversary. It's a good gift about the truth of information. It's actually one of the best gifts. Thank you Ground News for sponsoring today's video. For the next barbecue, my friends, I'll take you to the Russian city of Arzamas. You can see it right on the map. It's a little bit east from Moscow, a few hundred clicks and almost 1,000 kilometers from Ukraine. And what happened here? Well, glad you asked. There still is, Arzamas instrument making plant, and they are producing parts for Russian missiles, specifically ballistic missiles, the KH series, KH-101 and all of that. I've seen what the KH-101 can do. I was in Ukraine when one of those hit the Akhmati Children's Hospital. it's a terror weapon, and this plant is making parts for that specific missile. So I'm so glad this has been turned into a barbecue. Before we watch the damage, I just want to share you, I think, which is one of the workers of the plant or just a regular road worker. He's wearing a vest and stuff. But again, Russian man in this time feeling for the first time what it means to invade your neighboring country. It's called karma.
Летит, блядь, летит, сука! Блядь! Падает!
The drone was like very far away from him, very far. Ukrainians feel this hour after hour, and this guy's like panicking the hell out. I think he has to change underwear after this. Yeah, I was always glad to see when karma works. I wish it would work more in Russia, but it works. Well, it's a nice free barbecue for the citizens of Arzamas. Arzamas, damn it. Arzamas instrument making plant for the KH missile series, ballistic missile series. And I correct myself, it's 700 kilometers from Ukraine, from the front at least. KH-32, KH-101 and KH-59 missiles, all of them very deadly, very dangerous. I've seen them effects on first hand. I also describe them in my book. A very big portion is to describe that of Mati Children's Hospital because my co-driver and close friend was at the epicenter of that explosion at the time when it happened, and I dedicate a whole chapter to it. So go and get 8 missions in Ukraine and go and read what these specific missiles did to the children's hospital. I'm glad Ukrainians hit this specific plant. Now, my friends, we travel to Komi Republic. Now again, not a Russian culture, not a Russian language. Komi, now I might make a mistake here. I think they're Finno-Ugric, man. I think they're my tribe. Komi Republic in the northern Russia right here. Well, there's an oil refinery here. And what's specific about this blast and this barbecue is that Ukrainians use the drone I personally have not seen before. You see this drone with the V-shaped tail? It's not a Lute drone with the Bayraktar-looking tail. It's a V-shaped tail. And it's new to me. I want to watch the video with you. Look at that tail. Have you seen a drone like that being used by the Ukrainians? I haven't. So this is a new production. I'm glad they do use new drones. Look at that. Flying so gracefully and peacefully, making such a nice warm barbecue for the Russians. It's just a... That's the sirens. I think the city government here is saying on the loudspeakers that free barbecue will come soon. Come everybody to the vicinity of the oil refinery, bring your sausages, because free barbecue will happen soon. And I wonder about this video is how is this fuel speaking out of it, like bursting out, but not exploded. Look at this is the black area where there was an explosion here. And I assume this is fuel bursting out, but it's not on fire. So all of the Russians who came to the vicinity of this oil refinery with their sausages, which are now warm on the sun, there's no fire. They have been deceived. About this next video, my friends, I wish myself I was kidding, but I'm not when I say you don't even need Ukrainian drones or their debris, because this next video, it is a catastrophe and no Ukrainians involved, at least not that I know of. We're talking about the explosion at the Baskir soda company, the biggest soda company in Russia, in the Baskir area, Oblast, Republic. Well, the plant is linked to Putin's ally, oligarch Arkady Rotenberg, whose companies built the illegal Crimean bridge. The blast occurred in a vinyl chloride production workshop, causing a chloride leak moving toward the city, though authorities claim there is no danger to residents. Hey, when Russian authorities claim there is no danger to residents, you absolutely know you are in grave danger. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if I can show you everything, but there's a video about this here. Close to 40 people got seriously injured, like half of them are in hospital. So this is a massive explosion in a factory, like a big nationwide headline, and no Ukrainians involved. Just Russia doing Russia. Alright, my friends, now as I promised at the beginning of the video, there are some serious developments on the front line, and I will tell them to you. I will read you the best thread that gives us the information in the most detailed way, but the shortest way possible. And this is a worrying development. Now, if you look at this map, this is the Pokrovsk front, and you can see on the down area of the screen that Pokrovsk area almost surrounded. 2/3 of this urban area is surrounded, and Russians have been pushing here for the last year very slowly with big losses advancing. Now this yellow line here is the new Donbas line that Ukrainians have been building out for the last, again, 1 to 2 years. They have an issue with manning that line. It's a very long line and they have to man the front line, so they cannot really man that secondary defensive line here. What is interesting is Russians actually reached this line for the very first time. This is the defensive line before central Ukraine. It's designed to defend central Ukraine. They reached this line, which is anti-tank ditch, barbed wire, dragon's teeth, and in some areas, mines, anti-tank mines. They reached it and they breached it. I'll read it to you. At Zolote Golodyaz, Russia had first contact with Ukraine's new Donbas line, and its DRGs broke through it for the first time. With the Ukrainians suffering from catastrophic manpower shortages in the long term, this might endanger all of Ukrainian-controlled Donbas. The story starts on July 21st, when, according to Deep State, Russian DRGs were recorded east of Noveshakove. Everything has been kept quiet then, with neither side releasing any information whatsoever, and with my sources too fully respecting operational silence. Despite this, in the dark, the Russians kept creeping forward and continued to send more and more DRGs deeper, eventually rendering the situation similar to what we saw in Pokrovsk, where the Russian DRGs are constantly recorded and destroyed even in the center of the city. Progressively, the breakthrough was expanded on all sides. If you have questions, what is a DRG and what tactics are we talking about here, it's going to happen very soon. Wait for it. As of the evening of August the 6th, local channels finally reported shooting battles in Zaloty Golodyaz, 7 kilometers from the last known Russian position. That means Russians have been found shooting around 7 clicks from where they previously were known to be, meaning they have advanced somehow very much. But this is what a DRG group does. They do that, it explains it everything. Let's break down the confusion of what exactly caused these breakthroughs. I identify 4 reasons. Number 1, catastrophic manpower shortages in the Ukrainian ranks in this sector, initiating a loop of disorganized retreat, Russian breakthroughs, lengthening of the front, manpower shortage, again disorganized retreat. In this specific case, we can name Koptieve settlement, from which the Ukrainians retreated in terrible order in mid-June. From there, the Russians exploited a hole that formed in Razine behind Gazeni Torets River and continued without much resistance all the way until the doors of Radinske, where at the time of writing they have been effectively stopped. This is a very long thread, but I'll choose you the last paragraph now. New Russian tactic. For about a month now, the Russians have been massively increasing DRG usage. These very small groups of 2 to 3 people are sent along very well-planned routes with the hope of simply bypassing Ukrainian positions, which do not constitute a line, but rather bubbles on a map, because resources and personnel shortage. Getting in the rear and sowing as much chaos as possible, harassing logistics, and something that is very often overlooked, but is the number 1 reason of many Russian breakthroughs recently. Distracting Ukrainian UAV crews from the front and Russian pilots, which in turn get total operation freedom and can suppress Ukrainian bubbles easily. These small DRG groups are almost always noticed on approach on the PVD or accumulation point, and they're hit both in the face and when they're moving from the PVD to their object. Even if those efforts render DRG troops' survival chance very low, the sheer amount of forces committed that we just talked about give considerable results. Now this thread I just read to you gives you an idea why and how Russians advance. They're throwing men by groups of 3, go. Every 20 minutes they send another one, every 10 minutes. And even if 1 or 2 survive, they get behind these Ukrainian drone crews, these bubbles on the front, because the lines are not manned with infantry. In some areas they just have drone crews. That's it. No man with a machine gun aiming from the nest, nothing like that, just a drone crew. That's it. Because there's a catastrophic manpower shortage. So if they get behind these drone bubbles, these drone crews have to focus behind their backs, giving Russian drone crews operational freedom. That's how it has happened. That's how this salient has formed around Pokrovsk, as we saw. That was the first worrying development of this video, but there will be one more. I think you already guessed what it is. Now we will watch a video that was found on a Russian POW's phone when he was captured, and in this video you can see him trashing and losing a Ukrainian home. Keep it for yourself. Why do we need it, huh? Right now we're in the apartment of some Lukoil rednecks, and now this is Russia. We can see how they live. Lukoil rednecks don't complain about life. They like everything. They're telling that Ukrainians live good, because compared to Russian urban areas and compared to Russian rural areas and Ukrainian rural areas, there is a massive difference. Although both countries compared to European standards are considered poor, there's a massive difference between Ukrainians and Russians, because Russians, it's so old, you don't really think about it anymore because it's so repetitive, but they actually do not have running water and washing machines in the rural areas. Nothing like that. So they see these things and they're like, wow, they like everything. They have everything. I'd burn this place down. Now this is envy, because they don't have this stuff. They know how to destroy, like you give a bunch of baboons, you show them a nice glassware, they're like, ooh, monkey see, monkey destroy. That's exactly what's happening. They don't know what to do with this stuff. But they know how to destroy, because in Russia, they're just breaking apart furniture. If you look at this video slowly, you see them like giving considerable effort to just break it apart. For what? I don't know. See, they're just taking planks of it. For firewood, no, because there's plenty outside. You can take the grader, you hear, okay, you get the point. They know how to destroy really good. That's the thing that they're good at. Now I show you a horrifying video, which is not the worrying aspect I was talking about before. That will come in this video. But this specific video is very horrifying in a way that it's just, it's nasty. This is a Russian Shahed drone, right? They send almost hundreds of them every day. Close to 100 every day. This is a cassette munition. It's a bunch of mines, infantry mines if you could call it, because infantry is a military target, but this is not for infantry. This is mines for civilians, for regular civilians, I mind you, children and elderly people. They are mines meant for civilians, dropped randomly on Ukrainian cities just for anybody to step on them. You can see it in the video. They dropped the mines just on a highway. This is not a front line. This is deep in Ukraine. I mean, these drones fly usually to Kyiv and central Ukraine. And they drop it just to any area that has civilian movements. And in this video later, I'm not going to show it to you, but we already see some explosions. And you know it's a civilian. So this is just a nasty video, just a nasty piece of information that they have started to do this now. Dropping cassette munitions, cassette mines, PTM3 cassette mines onto civilians. And they will be children sometimes also playing in these areas. In the previous video, last Friday, we watched a video of GUR flying their drones to Crimea, and it was a beautiful video because you could see these Hollywood-like attempts of Russians shooting down Ukrainian drones, the missiles missed or exploded right before the drone, and the drone still kept going, and it connected to 2 of the radar domes in Cape Tarankhut, Crimea. Now we have a satellite image of these, barbecue fires, and you can see these domes, they're dotted, they are destroyed, and you can take a wild guess that the radar inside is also shredded just like this, just to confirm that these videos are not just videos, but later satellite images are made to confirm the destruction of these incredibly expensive radars. My friends, I can announce with pride that in this video we have 5 new names who decided to support this channel, and one of them actually lives in Estonia. You can guess which one, I'm not gonna tell. Kabe Tar. Thank you, Mr. Tar. Jim Carrey, a famous actor, Jim Carrey. Well, thank you, Mr. Comedy King. Tkhavaram, yes. Thank you for supporting. Henry Tmanetje. Henry Tmanetje. That's as best as I can do. Mikael Lubrecht. That's very German. Alana Grub. I've said that name many times also. Thank you to each and everyone for supporting, and if you like my channel, then buy me a coffee, link is in the description below. Now a little fun video for you before we go and watch the most worrying development of today. But before that, let's enjoy ourselves with the guy, Russian, driving a Russian-made car in 2025. This is a new Lada. 2025 Lada. I just bought it. It's quite expensive for Russians. And when you drive it, like you actually drive it, you push the gas pedal, you drive it, the car is moving, the wheel locks up, you cannot turn. Because in Lada you're not supposed to turn. You're supposed to go straight through everything what's on your way. The wheel is physically locked. So you paid a lot of money, you have a not mortgage but a loan on this car. You have a baby crying in the back and an angry wife next to you probably. And the car, you cannot turn your wheel. Damn it. Hate when it happens, man. Damn it, not again. Buy a Lada, my friend. Buy a Lada, yes. All right, now the most worrying development of today, and you guessed it, it is Donald Trump deciding to meet Vladimir Putin, and Vladimir Putin calling the shots, because they will meet on 15th of August, this Friday, in Alaska on the American soil. Now, I will open up this topic just a little bit, but before, let's just watch the endless circle of Chamberlainian appeasement. Trump sets deadline for Russia. Deadline expires. Putin suggests meaningless negotiations. Negotiations fail due to Russia's unrealistic demands. Trump sets another deadline for Russia. That's what has been happening all the time. Look, Trump has set like 5 deadlines for Putin already. It's just a game they play, and they watch the world take it seriously. But they will meet in Alaska, which is like a massive spit onto world order's face, every democracy's face, or the international justice face, because Putin has been declared international criminal, war criminal, and wanted internationally. So Trump is inviting that war criminal onto American soil, declaring that's, I cannot say what it's declaring. I cannot say some stuff here. Honestly, I can't, because people will go crazy. But for me, this is Chamberlain inviting Hitler to London right after Hitler attacked Poland. Not even Czechoslovakia or Anschluss, Poland. I'm talking 1st of September 1939. And then, if Chamberlain could still do that, like he wasn't prime minister anymore, I think, but he would invite then Hitler to London to talk with him. Let's maybe make a land swap, Let's end this war. Let's end the killing while Germans are building concentration camps. This is how I see this. So you can tell how frustrated I am inside because this is happening. And just to remind you what talks mean with Russia, this is the reality. It's very tough to get the idea around this. Between 2014, when the war started with Russia, because they took Crimea and Donbass, and 2022, Ukraine held 200 talks with Russia, reaching 20 ceasefire agreements. These are agreements which has been signed by both sides. Russia violated all of these, leading to Putin's invasion of 2022. Those advocating for negotiations are either uninformed, misled, or aligned with Russia. And yes, one of these three options, or all of them, are true for a lot of Westerns, unfortunately, which is very sad, because my country's and my people, culture's survival depends on Ukrainian victory. This is why I take it so seriously. It's very personal to me. And this is why you can see, for me, this is the most worrying development of this video. Trump giving stage to Putin, giving Putin the stage on Alaska, which some Russians think is Russian area right now. It's a massive, massive gift to Putin in the world's eyes. He has been internationally isolated, but not now when he steps on American soil. And to Alaska, meeting Trump, I mean, the most powerful man in the world, immediately lifting him out of the stage of international isolatedness. Yeah, you get the point. So this is worrying for me. But my friends, we'll get through it and we'll win. And with you, I hope you're coming back after tomorrow, Wednesday, when I'll be making another one, and Friday and the day after that. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for sticking on this channel. And until always, as always, my friends, until my next video, Slava Ukraini, and bye-bye. Thank you, Ground News, for sponsoring today's video.